Soulsville is called, close to Stax Museum, directly across from an historically black college and university, on College here in Memphis, Tennessee. My name is Ekpe. And we're doing an African drum class today, learning about some of the history of African music and the importance that African music has played in the world, all around the world. This instrument that I'm playing today, this particular one, is a djembe drum. Can everyone say djembe? Yep, I heard you. I heard you. Djembe. So djembe comes from West Africa. You'll find djembe in Guinea, in Senegal, in Mali, different parts of West Africa. Now you'll find djembe all around the world. This is one of the most popular drums in the world now, djembe. So, anyway, drums are very important because in many societies in Africa, we use drums as a form of communication to send messages. This is the original telephone. Before internet, before cell phones, before telephones that we know in modern times, the drums would be played and the sound would carry for miles and miles and miles and miles. And then someone else picked it up and they played that same message and it went miles and miles and miles, and before you know it, the sound of the drum, the message of the drum, could go hundreds of miles in a short period of time. So the drum is very important. And so when African people came to America, we used the drums also, just like we used it in Africa to communicate. And for part of our spiritual beliefs, like if you go into many churches today, black churches especially, and other churches also, you'll find drums there. So drums are part of our celebrations from life, from the beginning of life to the end of life. Drums are played. And once again, as a form of communication. The drum is a language. So, as I said, when we came to America, when African people came to America, during slavery, though many of us came before slavery. So I love to read, let me just say this. I read a book called They Came Before Columbus, The African Presence in Ancient America, talking about how African people had come to America long before slavery as free people. So, I just wanted to let you know that. Don't get it twisted, as they say, to think that African people just came to America during slavery. No, we came as free people a long time ago. The only difference is we didn't come to take over. We came and we visited with the native people here, with the black Indians here who are already here. We visited, and then we went back to Africa and we would come back and forth. So anyway, but the drums are very important. Also in Native American culture too, the drums are very important. We use it as a part of our spiritual beliefs. I say our because a lot of my family is also Native American also, Cherokee and Choctaw as well. So anyway, but we use the drums in both societies, in African society and in Native culture as well, as a part of our celebrations of life. Because the drum is like the heartbeat inside of our body. And so the drum is the heartbeat of the community and society. So when people have celebrations and they want to send messages, the drums are used, one of the instruments that's used to communicate and send messages. So anyway, so that's just a little history of the drum. So if we talk about music in general, African music, we have all kinds of instruments. This one particular instrument is called, some of you may know that. Anybody know the name of this instrument? Okay, if somebody said kalimba, you're exactly right. Some people call it thumb piano. Now this instrument was made famous by a man named Maurice White. He was from Memphis, as a matter of fact, he lived right in this area. He grew up right in this area. He started a group called Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we use music for all different kinds of things in Africa. So there's an African proverb that says music has the power to heal or kill. So we want to heal. So this instrument has a healing sound to it. And certain songs that they play help them to remember their ancestors, like those in our family when they pass away. We never forget them. And on that note, we want to pay tribute to some ancestors, some new ancestors, we might say. A couple of days ago, Reverend C.T. Vivian, one of the men who marched with Dr. King, he was 95 years old. He passed away. So we want to remember Dr. C.T. Vivian. And there's a word we say. Can everyone say Ashe? Ashe means so be it, it is done, which means it's a word of power and affirmation. It's a way that we recognize our ancestors. Now, everybody has ancestors. No one gave birth to themselves. We all have ancestors, the people that came before us. So we recognize Reverend C.T. Vivian, who passed away. One of the great men during the freedom movement, some people call it the civil rights movement. And also, of course, John Lewis, who just passed away also. He was also one of those freedom fighters that marched with Dr. King. And there was a time that he marched across a bridge called the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Alabama. So he was beaten that day. They called it Bloody Sunday, March 7th, 1965. And so we pay tribute to both of them today, ancestors of ours. And when you say Ashe, so be it. Their life was well lived. They ran their race and done their course. So when we call these people's names, this is a part of African tradition. Like people call the name of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. That's an African tradition when we call names. It's a part of something that we call libation. And so the music is all connected because the music is a way to help us heal from different things that are happening. So I hope you enjoy the sound of the kalimba. It's a soothing sound. So speaking of the civil rights movement, Dr. King himself called himself a drum major for justice. So we are with the drum. So, if you can feel that rhythm, I want you to just clap along with that rhythm. Clap along with that rhythm right there. Clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. Sometimes I might switch up the rhythm a little bit, and you just feel what I'm playing. If you happen to have your own drum at home, you can play along. Sometimes I might change the rhythm up a little bit. You just follow along and listen. When playing music, it's good to listen. Listening is very, very important. Especially if you're playing with someone else. If you're doing an ensemble. We want to play in unity. We want to play together. In Africa, the drum symbolizes unity and power. Power and unity. That's what the drum represents in many societies in Africa. And as I mentioned, when African people were brought to America, we actually used the drums as a form of communication on how to escape from slavery. Now you might find something around your house, nothing that you're going to break though. like what I just did was this. I played 2 on the bass and 4 on the rim of the drum, like this. 1, 2, 1, 1. they call the accent. If you notice what I just did, I accented offbeat. It's like language, right? When you're learning a word, words have accents. Like I just said the word accent. So the accent is on the first syllable. Accent. 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 So music is language, in other words. That's what we're talking about. another instrument. But before we leave this one, who remembers the name of this drum? Djembe. Now it's easy to remember. It's like a person's name. It's like, okay, say if somebody's first name was Jim, right? And their last name is what? Bay. So this drum is called what? Djembe. Okay? Sometimes you'll see it spelled D-J-I-M-B-E. Sometimes it's spelled D-J-E-M-B-E. Sometimes it's spelled like that. So that's djembe. Now, I want to show you another instrument that I brought. I brought a couple of other instruments. But this instrument is called shekere. Can everybody say shekere? Now in Ghana, this one came from Ghana. And they actually call it ahache. Yes, that's right. Ahache. Remember I told you about accents, right? So the accent, how many syllables? Ahache. That's 3 syllables. And the accent is on which syllable? Is it on the first syllable? No. Is it on the second syllable? No. Is it on the third syllable? Yes. Ahache. And so, sometimes we play like this. That's kind of like the same rhythm I was playing on the drum, right? So the shekere is made out of a gourd. A gourd is like a squash. It's like a watermelon. It's in the vine. It has a vine. See, there's a vine that came out of here that went to the ground. Sometimes they'll grow on the fence, they'll put them in there. The vine will run and will grow on the fence. So it's like in the pumpkin or squash family. Everybody likes squash, right? Anyway, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. So, anyway, so this is shekere, ahache. So different ones, we have different sizes. You know, they come in different shapes and sizes. And I have some other shakers too. Now this one has a piece of a board on the bottom. Okay, this is a shaker. It has a piece of a board. You see how it's kind of round, how it's kind of round on the bottom. Okay, so these you can play 2 at a time like this also. Now, since you're at home, do you think anything that you can think of anything, any way to make these out of something around the house? What do you think? Let's see. What's possibly inside of here? Let's see. If somebody said beans, yes. If somebody said rocks, yes. If somebody said popcorn, yes. Whatever you might want to put in there to make the sound. And what would you put it in anyway? What could you put it in? Maybe you could put it in a soda can. Yes. A drink can after you finish drinking your drink. Or you can put it in a plastic bottle. Also. So, after you finish drinking your water, and drink your water because it's hot outside too. Drink your water. Water's good for your brain. H2O, oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen is good for your brain. So water, you know. Anyway, after you finish drinking your water, then you can find some popcorn and maybe put it inside. And put the top back on. And make sure you put the top back on, because if you don't put the top back on, what's going to happen? You're going to have popcorn everywhere. But put the top back on. So then you can shake it. Put popcorn, beans, whatever. So you can find different things. Once again, those little plastic buckets that I talked about, that something may come in, you know, maybe like butter or something that may, you know, whatever, with a little plastic top on it, those little, you know what I'm talking about. So same thing. You can put the top on it. After you put something in, put the top on it, and you can shake it like this. Now, if you want to make it artwork, see in Africa, everything is arts and crafts also. It's sculpture. So this drum, for instance, was sculpted. Somebody did a sculpture. They sculptured this drum. See how they shape? You know, of course, this is a wooden drum. It came from a tree. The tree wasn't shaped like this, so somebody sculpted this drum. And they put some markings on it. You know, so different drums have different markings and shape. So if you make your instrument, you can also decorate your instrument. You can decorate. You see how these colors are? So maybe you can even wrap some paper around it, right? And get some crayons or some, you know, pencil markers and make your own design on your instrument. And you have your own instrument that you made yourself and designed it the way you want it to. Okay? So that's those. Let's see what else. I'll have an example, as a matter of fact. I like drinking tea. So I had this little can with some tea. And both of them sound different. I forgot what I put in. Maybe beans in here. Maybe rice in here. Because it's soft. So let me ask you. This is a lesson in something we call acoustics, which is the science of sound. If you put big rocks in this one and put rice in this one, which one's going to be louder? Would it be this one or this one? Who says this one? Raise your hand. Who says this one? Raise your hand. Well, if you said this was going to be louder, you're exactly right. But you can still play them together and they'll both have two different sounds. So you can find things around the house to make musical instruments out of. And also, you know, you can tap on this one too. Let's see if I have a little stick somewhere. Let's see if I have a small stick somewhere that I can show you that you can also tap on. Oh, I know where. I have a little stick. This is a big stick though. So you can make your own instruments at home. Be creative. Be creative. And make some of your own instruments. And decorate them if you like to as well. Okay? So that's just something about some of these other instruments that I brought. And so after, hopefully, we'll just say when this COVID stuff is calmed down, we'll get back to our regular classes in the circle. And you'll get a chance to play some of these other drums that I brought. Oh, I have another little bell here too as well. Clap along with that rhythm. So that's this little bell. Now these other drums that I have, let me show you these. This is getting us ready for the next time we get together, so you know something about these drums. So this drum, these two drums are called, can everybody say samba? So these drums, you can play with your hands also. But also you can play them with sticks. Same thing. If you want a softer sound, of course, you play with your hands. Once again, the steady beat, and add to other rhythm in for syncopation to make it a, what kind of rhythm did I say? When you play more than one rhythm at the same time? Who remembers? Polyrhythm. If you say polyrhythm, you're exactly right. P-O-L-Y. Polyrhythm. Here we go. So now this one I have a bell attached to this one. Sometimes we'll attach a bell to the side of a drum. And we'll do it like this. Oh, let me show you this bell so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes they call this a banana bell. I wonder why they call it a banana bell. Because it's shaped like an apple, right? Is that right? Because it's shaped like a lemon, shaped like an orange. Oh yeah, that's right. It's shaped like a banana. That's why they call it a banana bell. Okay, here we go. orange bell on the side. Oh, excuse me, banana bell. Because it's shaped like a banana, as you can see. Okay. So that's these drums. Now we have different sizes of these drums that are made like this. Now, these two drums, the skin that's on these are cow skins. And normally the skins that we put on djembes are goat. But sometimes we put a calf skin on it. Thinner skins go on djembes. Thicker skins go on the sambas. And another one that's a little bigger than this that we call the dum-dum. Because when we hit these with sticks, the sticks can take it. But if you hit the stick too hard on a djembe, guess what's going to happen? I'll start with a steady beat, and then you can join in with me on the steady beat. Keep the steady beat, you keep the steady beat. You feel that steady beat right there? So no matter what I play, you stick to that steady beat right there. Now if you feel like you can add a little and syncopate a little bit, you can. But mainly, steady beat. Still got that steady beat going? Okay, I can feel you. I feel you. The steady beat still going? Good. Still got that steady beat? No matter what you play, if you play a drum instrument, or if you're playing a shaker instrument, same thing, or a bell, it doesn't matter. Staying on that rhythm is the important thing. Which once again means you have to do what? Listen. Sometimes we play soft also. Sometimes we play loud. Very good. Very good, very good. So when we call loud or soft, we call it dynamics. That's what we call it when we're playing loud. So we use dynamics in music. So that's what makes music have a different feel to, have a good feel to it. Sometimes you play soft, sometimes you play loud for excitement. Sometimes you play soft, once again, to kind of soothe things down or calm it down a little bit. So we use dynamics in music to help liven the music up. Yeah. Okay, so 6/8 rhythm. 6/8 is also a common rhythmic time signature in African music too. 6/8. And no matter what, just remember the pulse of the music. When you remember the pulse, the pulse is like the main beats and also accents I told you about before. So I'm playing the accents here, which is causing the, what's that S word again? Syncopation. Everybody say syncopation. Say syncopate. Syncopate. So you've got some vocabulary words today as well that you can look up. Syncopate. What else? Dynamics. And whatever other words I use, you remember, you'll know. You all are geniuses. Whoever's on this lesson today, you are a genius. Just let you know that. I want to let you know that right away, before I forget about it. You all are geniuses out there. You're very smart and intelligent. You listen well, and you're going to do well in school. Whatever kind of school you're going to be in, home school, virtual school, whatever. Anyway, just let you know you're a genius. You can learn anything in the world that you want to learn. So now, we have about another, how many more minutes do we have? So anyway, we're going to do 6/8 rhythm. Just remember the pulse of the music. The time signature is one thing. That's just to let you know, for, say if you're reading music on a sheet of paper, it's going to have a time signature. It's going to have 4/4 times. It's going to look like a fraction on the paper, right? 3/4, 4/4, 6/8. It looks like a fraction on the sheet music. That's to let you know what time signature you're in. So anyway, so that's the 6/8 rhythm. But all you have to remember basically, as I said before, just think about the pulse. It's still like it's a straight beat. for 6-8 years. Now, it's about time to wind up. So, before we go, I want to play for you one of the songs on the CD that I recorded. This CD is called, what I just told you all a little while ago that you all are what? You are a what? What was that G word? What was that G word? Yeah, genius, that's right. So, I recorded an album, a CD called I Am a Genius. And so, as I began to go to schools over 40 years ago, I started finding out that the children were geniuses because they were listening to the music and learning things that I was teaching them through the songs. So I just decided to go on and write a song called I Am a Genius. It goes like this. It's call and response. Now, call and response is a way that we teach and play music in Africa. I'll say something and you say right after me. Call and response. And in Africa, what we call rap is kebetu. And it's about positivity. We don't say bad things in the rap. It's about learning and education and knowledge. So I Am a Genius goes like this. All you have to do is just repeat after me. Say I am a genius. I am a genius. I will learn everything that my teacher teaches me. Because I am a genius. Say I am a genius. You have to point to yourself too when you say I'm a genius. Make sure you're talking about yourself. You know, you might be talking about somebody else. That's cool too. But make sure you're talking about yourself. Show yourself. Here we go. Say I am a genius. Say I am a genius. I will learn everything that my teacher teaches me. Because I am a genius. Now turn to somebody else next to you and tell them like this. Whoever it may be, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, you all turn to each other and point to each other and say like this. Here we go. Here we go. Say you are a genius. You are a genius. You can learn everything that your teacher teaches you. Because you are a genius. Say you are a genius. And I am a genius. And I am a genius. Well, everybody, our time is about up. We hope you enjoyed today. We want to thank Bianca, our technical assistant today, on this Zoom. We're doing Zoom. Are we Zooming today?
It's Facebook. Facebook
Oh,
Live.
Facebook Live. Okay. We want to thank Bianca for having us go Facebook Live from Soulsville, here in the heart of South Memphis, at Universal Parenting Place at Knowledge Place. And once again, my name is Ekpe. If you want to go to my website and see and listen to some of my music, our website is ekpemusic.com. That's spelled E-K-P-E, music. You know how to spell music.com. And so you